Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Thank you so much to everyone that is doing that. You know what the target is? 30,000 subscribers before September. Doable. Definitely doable. They're digging the road up outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Fingers crossed you can't. They hit fucking 8:15 in the morning on a Saturday. That takes the piss. That takes the bloody piss. All right, before we talk Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence, let's see if there's anything to quickly have a chinwag about. Guys, I'm not doing the live watch along today, unfortunately, for Taylor Ramirez. Apologies. I'm shattered. If I'm honest with you, that's what it is. I'm a bit knackered. I am going to watch it, but I'm not doing a live watch along. I think there are a few other people doing live watch alongs. I think Tunde Ajayi and Errol Spence are doing their thing. I think Pep Talk might be doing his thing. Showbiz, the adult. So there's lots of other good streams to go and watch. But your boy on the green chair is just going to do what you do and just watch it. So yeah, apologies for that, people. It's going to be a good fight, right? I feel like after their first head-to-head and they were on Max Kellerman's show and the weigh-in, yes, I feel like the hype is started to rise a lot more. Not just from us, but from casual boxing fans as well. So yeah, it's getting the type of hype it deserves, finally. No thanks to the promoters. Promoters? I was going to say promotions and promoter at the same time. Oh, I'm still asleep. All right, let's have a quick look if there is any stories. Aram smells upset. I give Usyk a hell of a chance to beat Joshua. You fucker. He's not wrong, though. I mean, Usyk does have a bloody good chance of beating AJ. Don't think he will, but he certainly has a chance. Yeah, I think AJ's going to steamroll him, personally. I mean, I don't know if that's what I think or what I want. Maybe a bit of both, but yeah, I think AJ's going to beat him. I'm still upset about the collapse of that fight, you know. Still upset about the collapse, but shit, it happens. It happens. This is boxing. Boxing is full of shit. Jamal Charlo, nobody cares about Demetrius Andrade for his fights or his belt. Well, that's true. It's true that belt, no one cares even to win it. They don't. I've heard so many people talk about things like this. Like, I mean, remember Danny Garcia spoke about about Terence Crawford. Not necessarily about the fight, but the belt. Like, don't care about the belt. Like, WBO seems to have no love in America. Like, no one really. I mean, they'll win it if it's a case of they're trying to become undisputed, but they're not going to go to a fighter and say, oh, he's got the WBO belt, let's get it. Doesn't seem to have it for some reason. White return eyed for late August, early September. Areola, a possible opponent. I think he's taking the piss. If I'm honest with that, I think it will be Trevor Bryant. And I do think the fight's going to be in America. Yeah, but look, Areola is still a very good opponent for top 20 guys, you know. After watching that, I've changed my stance on Areola. Like, I always thought Areola was done. That was probably the best shape I've seen Areola in years. And maybe the fact he hasn't been as active, like maybe it works the other way. Like obviously, I think Areola's had like 4 fights or 3 fights in like 5 years. Maybe it works the other way where your body gets a good rest. You don't go through sparring camps. You heal up properly. You don't take that trauma of a fight and sparring. And maybe it kind of works in opposite. So yeah, I think Areola on that performance definitely has a year, maybe 2 or 3 fights left, but it won't be the likes of a Dillian White. I doubt that. Stephen McKenna targets Conor Benn. I'd get him out real quick. No, you would not get him out real quick. He would get you out real quick. I love what Conor Benn is doing. I keep saying this all the time. I'm going to say it again. Conor Benn's YouTube channel. It's fantastic. Honestly, I love it. The fact that I think he's going to be the next star anyway, but yet the next star still doing something off his own back to promote himself is like plaudits. I don't know why. I really still do not know why most boxers aren't doing that, especially in this era of social media world now, right? You can't just rely on your promoter to fucking be your mouthpiece. Do something. And Conor Benn, I started his YouTube channel. It's growing. The numbers are growing on there as well. He's got one really good one on nutrition and what he eats and the supplements he takes and everything he does. He's I didn't know he's a pescatarian. Doesn't eat meat and all that shit. So yeah, man, I like Conor Benn. That was not what the subject was about, but I thought I'd just mention it anyway. Usyk's promoter confident Anthony Joshua fight will now happen. AJ did post on his Insta stories a picture of him and Usyk looking at him when AJ, I don't know what fight it was. I can't think as to what fight it was. It wouldn't have been Ruiz. It might have been the Ruiz fight, actually, because Usyk was there in the crowd. But I think it was before that. This is the second Ruiz fight. It might have been that, but yeah, it's happening. AJ Usyk, look, what? Don't trust me. What I'm saying, don't trust me. All right, let's talk Pacman, Errol Spence. Now, look, I have to be honest with you. When this was announced, I'll say announced, and we're going to talk about that as well, actually, the whole idea of announcing a fight like the way they did. But when it came out yesterday on Pacman's Instagram page, that's where I first saw it, Pacman's Instagram page. A lot of you DM'd me the photo, and I was like, what's this? I think that is even what I said on Twitter. What is this? Because I was like, is this some sort of, obviously it's not April Fool's. Is this the announcement of a boxing game? I honestly, none of it made sense to me, if I'm honest with you. Just because that's not how we're used to big fights being made, is it? I mean, let's be honest, they've just completely ripped up the script on how a big fight should be made and announced. That, for me, is what I want. Just give me that. Just fucking announce the fight. Don't tell me about splits. Don't tell me about, oh, negotiations have started. Don't tell me about we're looking at venues. Don't tell me we've got a couple of dates, this. Don't tell me this. Don't tell me, just announce the fight. There were no hints from Errol Spence, none, that he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. There were no hints from Manny Pacquiao that he's fighting Errol Spence. This is one of the biggest fights this year. Fact. One of the biggest fights this year. In fact, you can make an argument say it's the biggest fight this year. With AJ Fury falling off, you can make an argument say this is the biggest fight of 2021. An argument. I'm not saying it is. You can make an argument. There's 3 or 4 in that same bracket for me. And it's just been announced like that. Mike Coppinger, Mr. Sources, didn't even know about it. Didn't even know about it. He tweeted yesterday after the fact. Like, my sources have told me, no. My sources, Manny Pacquiao just bloody put it up on his Twitter page. Your sources. So yeah, fantastic. Honestly, fantastic. I mean, that's what we want as boxing fans. Don't get me wrong, I feel like we as boxing fans do like to be carried along the way of the negotiations. We do like to know what's going on. But sometimes, just announce the fights. Announce the fights. And Manny Pacquiao simply just put on his Twitter page a post of him and Errol Spence. That's it. And now all of a sudden, fight's done. Hook, line and sinker. PBC, who haven't really done, well, they've done a couple of bits, but PBC on Fox have literally just gone, boom, Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence, boom, AJ's on the mind, Fury Wilder. Boom, boom, just like that. Bloody hell. I mean, maybe it helps to have a manager. Manny Pacquiao's, he's a self-promoted person, right? But Errol Spence obviously has Al Heyman, who doesn't do any media. Maybe it helps to have a person that just doesn't talk and just gets the shit done. And he gets shit done, Al Heyman. He certainly gets shit done for Errol Spence. I mean, look at Errol Spence's last 4 fights. And it's been, obviously now, Pacman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia. Jeez. Penny for the thoughts of Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford was rumoured to be in negotiations to be fighting Pacman in the Middle East, but the money didn't come up in the end. Money didn't come up. Look at who Terence Crawford has fought in his last 4 fights. I expect Errol, by the way, to beat Pacman. I'm jumping into different rooms here, but you thought negotiations were nigh impossible before. Like, they were basically, Terence was asking for a 50-50 split, and Errol was like, I ain't giving you 50-50. All of a sudden, he fights Pacman and he wins. He definitely isn't giving him 50-50. He's even lucky, well, this is Terence I'm talking about, that Pacman was stripped or vacated his belt. I mean, Errol could be walking around in a couple of months with 3 3 of the major belts. And Terence wants to try and come to him and say, I don't need Errol, I don't need 50-50. No way. Not anymore, unfortunately. I was very much in it's a 50-50 fight in terms of money, splits. Ain't anymore. Again, look at those last 4 names I just mentioned. Pacman, Danny, Sean, Mikey. All on pay-per-view, I think, as well. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. All right, let's talk about the great Manny Pacquiao. I mean, you know, the funny thing is with Pacman, I actually don't know where he is. Like, we all know who number 1 and number 2 in the division is, right? I mean, that's Terence and Errol. I don't know if Pacman's number 3. So as much as I'm saying this is a big fight, this is a big fight for me because it's got that kind of legendary feel about it. You've got like an all-time Hall of Famer, pound for pound, number 5, as far as I'm concerned. Number 5, don't hear it. 8-time world champion, 5 lineal. This is a guy fighting so far out of his era, peak, it's scary. Pound for pound, number 5. All right, number 10. We'll talk. I don't want to get into an argument about where he is. Fighting a guy in Errol who's unbeaten, who most people think is the king of the division. That there's something special about this fight happening. But I still don't know if Pacman is above. Like, could Pacman beat Ennis right now? I mean, I'm asking this. I genuinely do not know if Pacman could. I think he could. Like, could Pacman beat Sean right now? You convinced he can beat Sean? Could he beat Danny, like, right now? Ugas, right now? If you think he can, then I guess this is number 1 or 2 versus number 3. This is it. I mean, Pacman hasn't fought since the 20th of July, 2019. By the time his fight rolls around, you're talking, what's that, 25 months out of the ring. That's incredible for a boxer that is 42. It's incredible. I don't, you know, when this fight was announced last night, I was like, oh man, Pacman's chasing greatness here. But yes, he's chasing greatness, but obviously, you know, I mean, Pacman's taking this fight because financially, this is probably the best fight on the table for him. I mean, he wanted the Conor McGregor fight. Let's not forget that Conor McGregor got beat by Dustin Poirier. That fight was off the table. He wanted the Ryan Garcia fight. I'm not quite sure what happened. There were talks about Mikey Garcia. I remember Mikey saying it, that he was in negotiations with Pacman. Those fights were a lot easier and probably paid good money as well. Errol, I mean, it's ridiculous that he's fighting Errol Spence. It's absolutely ridiculous that Manny Pacquiao is fighting Errol Spence. If Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao is in a discussion. Sorry. If Manny Pacquiao beats this Errol Spence, unbeaten, big, strong Errol. I don't want to hear about car crash, he's fine. Unbeaten, big, strong Errol Spence. I'm sorry. We need to have a discussion about GOAT status here. Let me repeat myself. Let me repeat myself for those in the back. If Manny Pacquiao beats unbeaten Errol Spence, there's a GOAT conversation. You know what it is about boxing fans? All those historians, like they have like the top 5 or 6, and there's nothing. You could go on a fucking 100-0 run and not get in there. You could be a 10-weight champion, 10-weight world champion, 8 lineal. You ain't gonna get in there. You could start from fucking flyweight and go up and fight Beterbiev. You ain't getting in there. Sorry. If Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, there's a GOAT conversation. And I'm having it. I'm having it with anyone. All those old historians that are going to fucking sugar Errol. I'm having the discussion with anyone. Because it's now silly. Let me have a quick look at when his first world title, by the way, again. Manny Pacquiao won his first world title, flyweight title in 1998. He is fighting pound for pound number 6 or 7 in 2021. Think about that. Think fly. It's incredible. It's actually incredible. Honestly, it's incredible. It's incredible. This is going to be fight, number 70? I don't even know what number for Pacman. Number 74 or something like that? It's actually ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. And look, credit to him. Credit to him. Credit to everyone involved. I've gone on a bit here, but credit to Al Heyman. Credit to Errol Spence for keeping this one under the cosh. But more importantly, credit to Manny Pacquiao. Look, he's definitely chasing greatness. And the reason I say that GOAT status and greatness is because, look, obviously he's done everything else. At this stage of your career, yes, he's getting paid. I know people are going to say he's getting paid. Yes, he's getting paid. So he's a prize fighter. He's getting paid. But you're chasing GOAT status now. That's what you're doing. That's what like the likes of Hopkins was doing towards the end of his career. That's why he kept on going, just because you're chasing something now. You want to be remembered forever. And Manny Pacquiao is going to be remembered forever. Understand this. His peers are having exhibition fights against one another. That's what they're doing. His peers, the guys in his era. Marquez is going to fight Cotto. There is talk about Barrera fighting Morales. He fought these guys. All of them. Floyd is fighting a YouTuber called Logan Paul. Manny Pacquiao fighting Errol Spence. Pacman is fighting fucking Errol Spence. I've said.